there, I'm Sage and welcome to Sage Does Crafts. Today I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel where I crochet projects out of only Dollar Tree yarn. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make berry bags. We're going to be making two bags in this video. We're going to be making a red bag and a blue bag, a little blueberry bag. And the pattern is going to be down in the description. So if you would like to just skip to that and work from that, that is great. And also a little disclaimer, while this is a tutorial, this video is not for absolute beginners. You are expected to know the basics of crochet, how to single crochet, increase, decrease, what a half double crochet is. So while this is a tutorial, it's not for the absolute beginner. I'm not going to be teaching you how to crochet, I'm just going to be teaching you how to make a bag. Okay? With that being said, let's get started. Okay, let's go over the materials that we are going to need. This project is going to take approximately 3 skeins of yarn, and for this one we're going to be starting with the cherry. You're also going to need a green yarn. I think these will go very nice together. You're going to have a lot left over of the green, so just keep that in mind. You're also going to need a stitch marker, a pair of scissors, and a 3.75mm crochet hook. So let's get started with a magic ring. I am going to be putting 6 stitches into the second chain. Okay, now that we have 6 stitches, we can put an increase in every single stitch, leaving us with 12 stitches. Okay, now we are going to be alternating between increase and single crochet. So we're going to be starting with an increase, doing a single crochet, increase, single crochet, and we're going to be repeating that to the end where we should have a single crochet at the very end. Okay, now we're going to be continuing to increase. So we are going to be doing a single crochet, an increase, and then 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase. And then that way, once we get to the end, we should have a increase in the second chain from, or the second stitch from last, and then a single crochet in that last one. Okay, and if you haven't guessed it already, next round we're going to be increasing and then doing 3 stitches and repeating that all round. We're going to be continuing to increase like that, I think, until we get to 5 stitches in between increases. So you've probably noticed by now that this bag is starting to look a bit flat, and that is on purpose, but we're going to start changing that up now. We've been increasing thus far and it's created a nice flat base, but now we're going to be putting in a row of just single crochet. So this is going to help round out our bag. Now that we have our single crochet round done, we can carry on increasing. Okay, we can really start to see that rounded shape now. And that is just from putting that one single crochet round in. We are now going to put in another single crochet round before increasing for another 3 rounds. Okay, now that we have done another single crochet round, we're going to be doing 3 more increase rounds. Now we're going to be doing another single crochet round before increasing for the last few times. Okay, with that final single crochet round done, we are going to be doing 2 more rows of increase. Okay, here is the base of our berry bag. So we are going to be doing 25 rounds of just single crochet, and we'll be back when that's done. So now that we have our 25 rows of single crochet done, we are going to be doing 3 rows of decreases. Okay, now that we have our decrease rows done, you can really start to see that berry shape. This is going to be a drawstring bag, so we are going to need to make holes for the strap to go through. So for our next round, we are going to be doing a slip stitch, skipping a stitch, and then putting 2 double crochets into the following 2 stitches. Then we'll be doing another slip stitch, skipping a stitch underneath, and then doing 2 half double crochets, and we will continue this all the way around the back. And this will help create those holes for that later strap to go through. Okay, we have got our little holes done. As you can see, there's a good amount of space for us to later slip a string through. And so now to finish this off, our last round, we are just going to be putting single crochets in and around here to help strengthen up this top so that it can endure, the drawstring part of the bag. And with that row complete, we have the base of our bag done. So what I'm going to do here is cut a little length right about here, and then I'm going to weave this in so it looks a little bit better, and then we can get started on the cord. Also, a side note, this is how much of the second skein we have left. I still have a completely untouched third skein, so this project does not take up 3 skeins like I thought that it would. So for our strap, we are going to be using this green yarn, and we are going to be making a cord out of it. I cannot remember what the name is of the cord that we're going to do, but I'm going to be putting it in editing right here. So let's get started. First things first, we are going to be chaining 2 to get this cord started. Okay, so now that we have our 2 chains, we are going to be working into this first chain into the back of it. We're going to be putting our hook through. We're going to be putting our hook through, yarning over, pulling through, and then pulling through again. And then we're going to turn, and we're going to put our hook through this chain here. Getting these things started kind of sucks, but once it's started, it's really easy. And then I'm also going to be putting it through another loop here just for more stability. We're going to be pulling through, then yarning, pulling through again. And now you should be able to start to see 2 loops created here. You're going to be working through those. Pulling through. You should have 2 loops on your hook. Pull through. And now you should even more clearly be able to see those 2 loops. You're going to pull through those. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And we are just going to be continuing that process of working through these 2 loops, creating another 2 loops, pulling through. And now you should start to be able to see this pattern and this cord forming. So we are going to be continuing that. The length of your strap, it can be whatever you'd like it to be. I am going to be making mine into a shoulder bag, and so that will take about 2 yards of this cord, which this cord goes by super fast. So if I can get the exact measurements, I'll put it up on screen right now. But for the time being, we're going to keep going. So now we have our completed cord. We also have our bag here. What we're going to do is start threading it through. Okay, now that we have it all thread through, we have these 2 ends here. This is actually where we are going to be putting the leaf. So what I'm going to do is, after I make the leaf, I'm going to leave a long tail on the leaf and use it to sew these 2 ends together. So for the time being, I'm going to find a place to pull the string through on the other side, because this is going to be the face of the bag, not where the straps connect, if that makes any sense. And so this loop here is the loop that is directly opposite of this. So this is where I'm going to be actually pulling through most of it, not all the way, but through most of it. Okay, so now we have these 2 ends that after we make the leaf, we'll be sewing together so that the leaf comes out this way. And then we have the strap portion coming out here so that when you're wearing the bag, the leaf will be visible. You can of course change this. This is just what I thought was cute. So let's get started making the leaf. To start, we are going to be chaining 15 stitches. So now that we have our 15 stitches, we are going to be using this last stitch here as a turning stitch. We will work into it when we come back around. But for the time being, we're just going to use it to turn and work into this 14th stitch. And what we're going to be doing is putting slip stitches in. And so you can see on this tail end here, you should be able to see 1, 2, 3 stitches. And we'll be working into this 15th stitch on the end, so just keep that in mind. But for the rest of this, we are going to be slip stitching directly into the back of these stitches. So now you should have something that looks like this. You can clearly see the stitches on both sides, and this is just going to make it a lot easier to work this leaf. And so now what we're going to be doing is turning it back this way, and we're going to be working into those stitches. What we're going to do first is 1 single crochet. Now we're going to do 2 half double crochets. Now that we have that done, we are going to be doing 4 double crochets. And then we are going to be doing 4 triple crochets. So we are yarning over twice. Okay, now that we have our 4 done here, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets. And then 1 half double crochet. Okay, and then we're at the end where you can see this 15th chain here. We're going to be working into that after we chain 2. And then we are going to be doing 1 half double crochet into this 15th stitch that we have left. It's difficult to get both loops, but there we go. Now we have that, and now we are going to chain 2 again and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. And then what we're going to be doing is just repeating this side but in reverse. So now we are going to be doing 2 double crochets. And then 4 triple crochets again. Now 4 double crochets. Now 2 half double crochets. And now we're going to finish off with a single crochet. And we are going to cut a very long tail for sewing. And I like to do a little slip stitch at the end to help secure it. And there we have our little leaf. Now, if you know of a better leaf pattern that you think looks better, I'm sure there are plenty out there. This does not. This is what I could come up with. I'm sure that there are much better. If you'd like to use that instead of this, that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you have a leaf and that you leave a tail for sewing. So let's get sewing. So before we get sewing, I'm actually going to deal with these ends, these pesky little ends, so that I do not have to deal with them later. I'll be cutting them short and then weaving them in through the strand. I'm also going to be weaving in this little tail here. Okay, now we have our two ends, and something that you might want to be aware of, I know some people don't care, but I care. This, to me, is like the pretty side, and this is kind of the ugly side. So when you're sewing, just make sure that whatever side that you would like to be visible is on the side that you would like, and not on the side that you don't like. So if that's something you care about, be aware of that when you're sewing. Also going to be sewing through the back here just to make sure everything is really secure. I'm kind of going ham on the sewing just because I do not want this to come apart, fall apart. That would be awful. If you intend to put heavy stuff in there, making sure you do a good job sewing here is really important. So nobody wants their stuff flying everywhere as your bag falls apart. I think that's pretty good. So now I'm going to be moving to the back to secure the ends by leaving a loop, threading through it, pulling it tight, doing that again. And then I'm going to take the needle and start working it through one of these strands. So now that I have it threaded through the string, I'm going to pull it just a little bit tight and cut it up close. And there, it is all weaved in. And this is what our bag looks like unstuffed. Let's get some stuff in there. Okay, and this is what our final bag looks like with some stuff inside of it. See, it's a nice drawstring bag. It's actually turned out looking way more like an apple than I thought it would. So there you have it. I also made a blueberry, and I turned this one into a tiny backpack for my nephew. But how I did this ruffle up here is, instead of doing one row of single crochet, I did a row of single crochet, a row of increase and single crochet alternating, and then 2 more rows of single crochet to create that little ruffled blueberry shape. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like on person. Okay, here we are. We have the blueberry backpack. I feel like seeing it like actually next to me shows just how big it is. But this one we turned into a backpack, and this is what it looks like on. I think it will be perfect for a kid his age. So we have that. These bags are actually really big, so it'll be perfect for, you know, trinkets in. And then here we have the crossbody bag. I did end up tying a little knot in it to make it a little shorter. This also like acts as like a nice little hook. I like that. I did make the strap just a little bit too long, so this also helps. But bash my mic around. This is what it looks like on. So it's like perfect hip length. You can reach all your goodies. So there you have it. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. Please consider liking and subscribing if you'd like some more free tutorials, especially tutorials with Dollar Tree yarn. So thank you again for watching. You guys have a good day now.